well paying, we go to school. Some of them good to the Saturday.
And the harsh reality is the Most High ain't looking for those type of people. That's why I try not to sweat it. Yep. So we good?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry about that, y'all. You restarted both of them?
Yeah.
Okay, con. Should I replay that clip?
Huh?
Should I replay that clip?
You can. Basically, just continue.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to pick it back up because the feed had dropped off, but let's watch this clip again.
Beat me with the polls.
Just before noon, Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe declares a state of emergency. Then, that terrible moment. When the driver of this gray Dodge mows
looked like a
down
video
a group
game
of
almost,
marchers
man.
who were protesting the rally. He rams into one group, then puts his car in reverse and accelerates, running over several more before fleeing the scene.
So, with that being said, go to 2 Timothy real quick, because this scripture just popped in my mind. Because you really didn't even need to see that to realize all the hatred and all the anger that's just, flowing throughout this earth right now, that spirit of adversity, because the Most High is about peace and love, truly when things are upright and righteous, but when things are hectic, that's when you receive the hate and the animosity from the Most High and that wrath. 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1.
The book of 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come.
I said perilous times shall come. Go ahead.
Verse 2. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection.
Without natural affection. How you mow down a crowd of people? People shooting up arenas and malls and theaters, like, no, there's no natural affection no more. Even within our own people, we just savage. I be seeing brothers that's 6'8", 230, just swinging on females. I'm like, bro, she might be out of order, but come on, man, what you doing? Brothers who feel good about knowing that they didn't kill their own people, like, it's crazy. Go finish verse 3.
Verse 3. Without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good.
Literally, this is screaming internet culture when I see this. I just think of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I automatically just think about all of that when I read this. That's what our people are so caught up in. But let's check this out, because there's really guidelines and protocols that the Most High is setting up for us. 2nd Ezra.
You want me to switch back?
No, you can keep it right here. 2nd Ezra chapter 16. I want 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 40. In case anybody was confused on what we should be doing, because for someone who might be new to the truth, new to reading the Bible, they might look at this and like, we're doomed. I should just crawl under a rock and die. Pretty much like what Lot did, Lot and his daughters. They seen all the destruction that was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah, and they thought the whole world was being judged because of how bad that city was being judged. They said, dude, we have nowhere else to go. Like, this is it. Like, we're just going to relax in this cave. That was they thought. So some people might be thinking about that, but the Most High says do what? Go ahead.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 30.
40.
Oh, Salak. 40. O my people, hear my word.
Israel, listen up. Go ahead.
Make you ready to the battle.
The Most High says, make yourself ready to the battle. There's things that we can do to help better prepare ourselves. We know that the Most High is going to give us his spirit. That's a fact. But how much more spirit would you receive if you was already preparing yourself? We're going to get into scriptures later, but just because you're righteous, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be like, ultimately you're going to be good because you're keeping the commandments, but the righteous still got killed a lot. tortured. So you can better prepare yourself for things like this. I can't say who you are, what your situation is going to be, or even if you'll be here when that time is gone. I can't speak for myself. I just hope that the Most High be with me, and at the end of the day, I'll always choose to stand up for this word and for what's right. So the Most High says, make yourself ready to the battle. Let's look at this. This is a 13-year-old white girl.
The shooter has indicated ready. Stand by.
She's not missing. That looks like a pretty good example of making yourself ready for the battle. Like I said, you start going to these gyms, these boxing gyms, martial arts gyms, you're going to see a whole lot of heathen in there. They getting themselves ready. And that's the crazy part, because with all of the stuff that they doing to make themselves ready, they still not even ready to take on Israel when we got our full confidence up in the Most High. The scriptures, I'm going to get it later, but it talks about the least of us, what we going to be doing out there in the battlefield if you have that opportunity to. Really putting in that work. I don't care how hard the Edomite train. There's 10 white people in a ring and 10 black people. You know who my money going on. And our people going to reach down inside somewhere and they just start chunking them. But what are people doing?
Então menina vem pra dança, acompanha o grave com esse rabo que balança. Bum 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 bum.
But this is what they promote to our people though. It's cool when you listening to on the radio. Mama up there don't even care. Clearly it's a problem for those who have a right mind. It's a problem. The Most High said we got to change our whole mind state. That's the mind state of Babylon right there. Confusion. That little girl's probably no more than 9 or 8 years old. Has no business doing that, learning that, seeing that. It's a problem. Let's start getting into some of these prophecies so we can see what's really going to go on. Let's go to the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15. And if y'all haven't had a chance to really read through 1st and 2nd Ezra, or just the Apocrypha period, man, I see why they wanted to take this out of the Bible, literally. I see why they wanted to take it out. 15 and 14, let's get it.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein.
It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein.
Verse 15.
Uh-huh.
For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh.
Most High is letting everybody know. You living it up right now. But he said, cursed be the world. All y'all about to catch it. Seriously, seriously. Go ahead.
And one people shall stand up to fight against another.
Uh-huh.
And swords in their hand.
Now we know it ain't too many people walking around with swords in their hand. You're going to be encountering a lot of them little 13-year-old white girls that's proficient with that thing. Popping. Go ahead.
For there shall be sedition among men.
Uh-huh.
And invading one another.
You got brothers that's real good at flocking homes, doing the kick doors. But when people are doing it because there's no food, that's a whole different type of ball game. People doing it now because you're trying to come up on a couple racks. When you don't know if you're going to eat tomorrow, you're doing it a whole different type of mind state and passion. Imagine this, though, on a wide scale level. The Most High said, woe be to the world. Imagine it, no matter where you go, it's chaos. What are you going to do? Go ahead.
For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings, nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power.
That's dealing with anarchy. Who is Donald Trump when you don't know if you got water in your house? If you don't know if there's water at the supermarket? Who is Donald Trump to you at that point? Who is the state marshals, the Coast Guard, cops, SWAT? They going to be going through the same thing. You think they going to throw that badge in the trash? They not worried about that. Go ahead.
Verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able.
We already see that going on right now, small glimpses. You got all those people from Mexico, from Venezuela, climbing walls, digging through mud, trying to get to the U.S. in hopes of having a better life. I don't know if y'all, I wish I would have had some clips of Venezuela. They had a picture where money was just in the streets because it means nothing. It meant nothing. It's going to cost you, I'm being extra, but imagine having to pay $1,000 for a loaf of bread because that's how much the dollar doesn't mean anything at that point. And truth be told, that's what America is. We think it has value, but it doesn't. America is bullying people right now. If the other nations was truly on some, because that's the thing about Esau, our people, he's a crazy man. He is a crazy man. If you stop doing business with him and he didn't say it was okay, we're dealing with a man, literally, who will kill himself to make sure that his enemy doesn't win. That's a wild boy. Because you look at LA, these chemtrails, they don't just go over the hoods. They go in those good areas too. But they say, you know, we're going to get a lot more of them than a lot more of us. Casualties of war. This is the type of man we dealing with. So it's really not going to matter once things really hit the fan. Go ahead.
Verse 18. For because of their pride, this city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid.
That's why I said the mighty men, they're going to be crying bitterly because they don't know what to do. We haven't experienced this type of chaos before, but I assure you it's coming. I assure you. Go to chapter 16. And let's read that verse 40 again.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 40. O my people, hear my word. Hear my word. Make you ready to the battle. And in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth.
The Most High is letting us know when this evil time is coming, you're going to have to be on the move. Seriously. It's not going to be safe where you at. You need to get up out of there. Because even when all this is going on, we still have an obligation to the Most High and to our people to teach, to keep the commandments. Can you imagine that? Having to worry about going out there teaching on Slauson and Western when you got all this going on? He said, hey, right there is probably not the best spot, but there's somebody who still hasn't heard this word. Because the thing is, this world can't be fully destroyed until all of Israel is sealed, who needs to be sealed. There's still people that's going to have to see brothers out there teaching when this is going on. Like I said, it's real easy when you typing. I want to see you out there when it matters. I want to see you putting points on the board when it matters. You can do it in practice. That's cool. When it's the fourth quarter, though, with a minute to go, that's when I want to see you shine. Seriously. Because it's a lot of, I can't say the word that I want to, but it's a lot of weak men in Israel. Suckers. Weirdos. And I can't wait for the Most High to expose them because they're not doing this out of the uprightness and sincerity out of their heart. They doing it for views, likes, women, whatever it may be, and that's not right. Our forefathers put their lives on the line to make sure that we have this word to read today. And for you to just deal with it on some nonsense like that, it's pathetic. Read on.
Verse 41. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away. And he that buyeth, as one that will lose.
So the Most High is letting you know, like, whatever situation you thought you had going on in your city, in your town, you're not going to be able to deal with it. It says you buying stuff knowing damn well you losing it. Like, I'm buying this, I know I'm not going to be able to keep it. You selling stuff knowing dang well you're not going to be able to get the rewards from it. You're going to have to flee. Drop down to verse 43.
Verse 43, he that soweth as if he should not reap, so also he that planted the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes.
Letting us know our mind state is not going to be invested in this place. This is temporary. This is where we reside. This is not our home. It's a difference. Go ahead.
They that marry as they that shall get no children.
He's letting you know it's going to be that bad. Because you're going to have sisters that's going to repent, but it's like, how do you have time to make kids when you got this going on? You trying to truck around a 1-year-old on your back when you got people shooting at you, chasing you? Read the next one.
And they that marry not as the widow.
It says it's going to be to a point where you're not even going to want to marry. Think about it now. We have the luxury to deal with our women and all the BS that they be on because we can still go to work, still do what we got to do. When it's that time, crunch time, you're not going to be dealing with women like that. Like, I'm trying to run for my life. Like, you going to slow me down. It said, man, brothers, it's going to be crazy. Go ahead.
Verse 45. And therefore, they that labor in vain. For strangers shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses.
Everything that you didn't work so hard for here in America is going to be devoured by strangers. Got to really keep things in context. There's nothing wrong with having money. The scriptures say that, but it talks about a rich man shall hardly enter because you start putting your love and your trust and you're so focused in that. Do what you got to do for your family while you're here. You can have nice things, but don't set your heart upon them. You got to know that it's temporary. Go ahead.
And take their children captive.
Some children are going to be getting taken. All of our people are not going to be repenting. So you're going to have some people staying back. Their children are going to be taken. Because it's going to get to a point where it's, because you got to understand, it's, the scriptures say that 2/3 of Israel is going to be put to death. You know how many Israelites, not keeping commandments though, know that they're Israelites? Kendrick Lamar, for example, not saying he's not keeping commandments, but he has a platform where he's able to speak to millions of his people, blacks and Latinos. He put it on his albums, clear as day. Blacks and Latinos, we the real Jews. We got to keep the commandments to get the kingdom of heaven. You know how many people know that they're Israelites, but don't keep the commandments? So it's going to get to a point in time where the decree is put out. All blacks, all Latinos, enough of them know who they are. Get them all. Keeping commandments or not. So that's why it's so dangerous and so foolish for our people who's not keeping commandments to get on board. You doomed either way. But at least if you doomed in the sense of dying for this truth, you know what your reward is. You know? Read on.
For in captivity and famine shall they get children. And they that occupy their merchandise will with robbery, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons. The more will I be angry with them for their sins, saith the Lord.
So the Most High says, man, with all that chaos going on, the Most High is still looking at the sins of the people. He said, oh, y'all really wilding right now. He's counting all that. You got to understand, man, like the earth was cleansed with water the first time. But when you looking at disease and pestilence and funguses and things of that, you have to destroy it with heat. The Most High said this world is disgusting. It needs to be cleansed with heat. He's going to burn this place up. It's going to be that bad to where everybody's minds is just polluted, just like in the beginning. That's how toxic. And it's so funny because don't our people talk about that? I can't deal with toxic people, toxic energy, everybody toxic. The Most High said everybody going to get it. That's the funny part. Israel be doing things according to the scriptures. They don't even be knowing. It's so funny. Conversation be about the scriptures. They don't even know it. It's hilarious. It's sad though. But we in the business of the Most High and we ain't got no time to be fearful. Remember, he said, he said, if you faint in the day of your adversity, your strength is small. What type of man is the Most High expecting you to be when all this is going on? You got brothers that fold under pressure from they women. Can't leave the house because my wife says so. Well, I don't know what you're going to do when this time comes. I really don't know. That's all I needed from that. Let's jump over to chapter 13.
That's that poodle.
Man, that poodle Tazaiwan was talking about. Chapter 13 and verse 22. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Even though you may be righteous, you still going to be going through some crazy stuff. Some crazy stuff.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 13, verse 22. Whereas thou hast spoken of them that are left behind. This is the interpretation.
Because it was a parable or a vision that was given to Esdras. Some people was taken, some people was left behind. He said, this is the understanding of it. Go ahead.
He that shall endure the peril in that time hath kept himself. They that be fallen into danger
Now, I need y'all to listen to this. He said, those who endured that peril have kept themselves. It says, they that be fallen into danger, those people that will definitely find themselves in dangerous situations, what?
Are such as have works.
These are the people that have works. Works in what though?
And faith toward the Almighty.
Even though you're righteous, the Most High said you're going to find yourselves in dangerous situations. That's what I'm saying. A lot of times, it's casting down that imagination. People come into these doors, people open up this book and think, I just got to keep the commandments and I'm good. Ultimately, yes. But it doesn't mean that you're not going to go through stuff. Crazy stuff. John got beheaded. You see what Christ went through. Stephen got stoned to death. The list goes on and on. Righteous individuals, righteous brothers, our sisters too. Have y'all read the book of 2nd Maccabees? I want to say it's chapter 7. Had a strong Israelite sister. Watched 7 of her sons get put to death because they didn't want to eat pork.
By torture.
By torture. They was cutting their limbs up, boiling them in big old cauldrons in front of her. And all she could do was just drop her head and tell her sons, y'all stay strong. It said she took it with a manly stomach. That's what it said. I want to meet that sister. That man, all praise to the Most High for sisters like that. That's who the Most High is looking for. Men as well.
Definitely men.
Bruh. Go ahead.
Verse 24. Know this therefore, that they which be left behind are more blessed than they that be dead.
And the Most High said, if you enduring all of that, having faith in the Most High like that, he said, you're more blessed than those that I took their spirit already up out of here. They could have been righteous. They could have died in their sleep or something like that. But it said, you're more blessed because you have that much more faith in me. Jump over to chapter 16. And let's read verse 68.
2nd Esdras, chapter 16 and verse 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you.
So-called black man, Latino man, we already see that. Y'all saw the slides, police beating us up, the other nations using and abusing us. That that fire is already kindled on the heads of these other nations towards us. They see us, don't even know why. They be having a great day. They see a nigga and they just mad. I see their faces when we walking down their beaches, our beaches that they occupy. They look at us with disgust, as if we're ruining their day.
Just like David said, they hate me without a cause.
Exactly. Don't even know why, but that's just the spirit of Satan in them. It says that the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled already over us. Go ahead.
And they shall take away certain of you.
Most High is already letting us know. You still got to stay strong. They're going to take some of us. It is what it is. Go ahead.
And feed you, being idle.
Now check this. It says they're going to take us. They're going to have us hostage, torturing us. And it says that they're going to feed us. But us being idle, go ahead.
With things offered unto idols.
So they're going to have all the abominable foods feeding us because we're in their captivity now, locked up in chains. Remember what they would do to the slaves when they didn't want to take the pork and all that they was trying to feed us? They busted out their teeth with hammers and put a funnel down their throat. Same stuff they're going to be doing to us, right? But go ahead.
And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach. And trodden underfoot.
And you're going to have some Israelites that's not going to be able to take that pressure and they're going to fold. Because you already know how Esau is. Look, man, your people, they out there wilding, but you here with us right now. I'm giving you an opportunity. Eat this pork. We won't even torture you. We keep you good. Mm-hmm. You got some people that say, damn, all right, give me the pork. It said at that point, they're going to have you in derision and reproach. They're going to be mocking you to scorn, still going to beat you. And it says they're going to have you trodden underfoot. You still going to be put to death either way. But the fact that you going out like that is sad. Go ahead, verse 70.
Verse 70, for there shall be in every place.
Now y'all check this out. It says in every place. Go ahead.
And in the next cities, a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord.
Let's get this definition of insurrection real quick. It says insurrection, an act or instance of revolting against civil authority or an established government. It's going to be understood in every single city that you go to. You see them fringes, you see them beards, we are against you. Come here now. We about to, it's going to get to that point. And that's the funny part, though, because you got brothers who will argue up and down. The mark of the beast is a microchip. What does a microchip have to do with anything during this time period? They're going to see some fringes in the beard before they see a microchip. Oh, you're not going to be able to sell or buy food. You're not going to be able to do that anyways. It's letting you know that that mark is spiritual. They going to know who it is of those who are riding with Satan and those who are riding with the Most High. Your understanding being marked in your forehead. Your works, as the scriptures just said, dealing with the mark in your hand. That's what it's dealing with. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Verse 71.
Verse 71. They shall be like mad men, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord.
A good TV series brothers can watch to get an understanding slightly of what's going to go on is The Walking Dead. It shows some real good insight. I got some clips from the book of Eli that I'm going to play. That's a good movie too. Mm-hmm. Because his whole thing was he was walking around with the Bible and they was on his head.
Esau
especially was on his head. They said, oh, no, no, no.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
It's a really good movie. And that's the thing, because Esau lets you know his position. But our people, we get so caught up in the lights and the camera and the theatrics and the CGI. Oh, man, you see? He threw the knife 100 yards and it stabbed him in his eye. It's like, why did he do that, though? He had the Bible. Read on.
That was it, a verse of the chapter.
No, keep going.
Oh, verse, Tobit, chapter 1 and verse 1. Oh, sorry, my bad.
I was going to say, where your Bible
My
stop
bad.
at? I need a new one then.
My bad. Verse 72. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire.
And again, don't get it mistaken. Staying true to the Most High, staying true to your nation, doing the works and the things that's right for the Most High, that's what's going to give you that distinguishing thing. It doesn't matter how many views you have. It's about doing everything with a sincere heart. Go ahead.
Verse 74. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same.
True enough. Check it out. Go ahead.
Be ye not afraid.
How are we just going to drop that bomb on us and say, but don't worry, though, don't be afraid. That lets you know the mind state of the Most High is not like how we think. You tell somebody like, hey, you're going to lose your job. You're going to be homeless for about 3 months, but don't worry, you're going to be good. We're going to be like, damn, what? Most High said, I got you. Don't worry about it.
Flipping out.
Lets you know how we need to get on that spiritual mind state. We be so worried about this flesh. The Most High said, look, but it's crazy because he said it. We read all these scriptures that get repeated in the church. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I can do all things through Christ who strengthened me. What's the other one they be saying a lot? I had it, but you ever had a thought and it goes further and further away the more you try to think about it?
Yeah.
I hate that.
I can't.
But you know, all those trivial scriptures that the Christian church brings out, talking about how we need to have faith in the Most High, when a lot of people is not going to have it when this hits the fan. So the Most High, he said, at that point in time, it's going to be known because it's so funny. Oh, please. And I know you can attest to this too, Raya. You got people, and we're going to read that again too, because you got people who sit here and say, the Most High is dealing with us. If you ain't with us, the Most High ain't with you. It says right here in verse 73, it says, then shall they be known who are my chosen. You're going to know at this point in time who the Most High is truly dealing with. It's so funny, man. Israel, y'all make me laugh.
Said they honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me.
Most High laughing at y'all like, man, y'all some clowns. Stay humble, though, because that's what it's about. And that's one thing I love about my congregation. We put works in for the Most High out of a true and sincere heart. I had to be real about real about it to myself. Like I was like, man, why am I doing this? Then I look at brothers and sisters who I'm surrounded by. I'm not saying that we 100% righteous or upright, but man, we really doing everything we can to make sure that we're doing things according to this scripture. So all praise be to the Most High for that. Let's go back to the PowerPoint. Let's watch these clips. So keeping all those scriptures that we just went over in mind, let's watch this. Watch this first one. Listen to what he says.
Washed your filthy fucking hands twice. Put a crew together. We're going after him. Fucking book.
It's not a fucking
He said we doing all this for an effing book.
It's a weapon.
He said it's not just a book, it's a weapon.
Weapon aimed right at the hearts and minds of the weak and the desperate. It will give us control of it.
He said if you have that book, because remember, they was chasing Eli trying to get that Bible. And the dude was mad because they was getting their butts whooped by this righteous man. He said, damn, all this for an effing book. He got hot. It's not just an effing book. It's a weapon. If you have it, you can control the hearts and the minds of the people. Esau knows. That's why ain't nobody worried about the Quran and the Egyptian Book of the Dead. There's no power in that. Who's on power right now? Esau. What is he using to keep his power? The Bible. The best-selling book every single year for probably thousands of years now. There's no disputing it.
If we want to rule more than one small fucking town, we have to have it.
He said, if you want to rule over more than just one small town, you have to have it. The Most High gave us this world. It's doable when we have that book.
We have to have it. People will come from all over. They do exactly what I tell them. It's the word.
They will come from all over to hear that word. I know the audio is kind of bad, but that was the gist of that scene right there. But just going into all the insurrection and all that that's going to be in the cities against those who are righteous, it's an example right here.
That was my cat.
It's cool, Aaron, where it's at right now for this clip specifically.
Fine specimen.
Look, remember he said they're going to be like madmen. No, look at these dudes. They look crazy.
I didn't really knock him. You raised your hand at him. Won't happen again, I promise you.
And Martz, but another drink, huh?
That cat's been coming in here for 2 years. It's got more right to be here than you.
He said his cat has more right to be in that city than him. Madmen.
Well, that's too bad. Because you can... I know who you are. Murderer of innocent travelers on the road. You are going to be held to account for the things you've done. Do you know that? Do you? It's okay. I'm gonna grab my things. I'm gonna walk out of here. All right, brother? Yeah.
Bet you he wish he had more brothers around him, huh? In the camp. But even if you solo, the Most High is still showing you. He got you. Highlighting them scriptures.
Both thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for us. For out of the ground we were taken, for the dust we are. And to the dust we shall return.
Please.
Now, the interesting thing about that is I can't even sit there and say that's exaggerated, because you have instances of Israelite men really going hard in the paint like that in the scriptures. Samson, for example, how you kill 1,000, that's probably about 50 men in there. How you kill 1,000 men with a jawbone of a donkey? I done wrestled with one Jake for 20 minutes, practicing and training, and was gassed. How do you times that by 1,000 and be successful without the Spirit of the Most High being with you? It says the saints shall take the kingdom. Y'all could write down Romans chapter 8, verses 35 through 39. It talks about how there's nothing in this world that's going to separate us from the love of Christ. Nothing. Even all of the prophecies that we went through, we still going to be 100 with Christ, and we still going to be 100 with the Most High. So this is what we're dealing with now. Let's give me Jeremiah 16 and 16. Go ahead.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 16 and verse 16. Behold, I will send for many fishers.
Most High said he's going to send for many fishers. That's what you see a lot of brothers doing right now, out here fishing, trying to find all those who's willing to keep the commandments of the Most High, all those who are truly seeking righteousness. Go ahead.
Saith the Lord. And they shall fish them.
Yep.
And after will I send for many hunters.
It says, but after that, Most High gonna flip that switch on us. He said, hey, y'all done did enough fishing. It's time for y'all to start hunting. Big time.
Man.
Go ahead.
And they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks.
Out of the holes of the rocks. It don't matter where you are. You're going to get this work. Man. Go to 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 17. And this is an aspect of the scriptures our people need to understand as well. We are the Most High's chosen, right? We're the Most High's sons and daughters, right?
Yep.
You're going to punish your kids before you punish anybody else, right? Oh, okay. Just wanted to make sure. Give me that in 1 Peter.
The book of 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 17. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of God.
Judgment is going to start with our people, because that's who we immediately going to be around. Wicked Israel is going to get it's not going to be well with them. It is not going to be well at all. Go ahead.
And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obeyed not the gospel of God?
I said, dude, if we going to be going through some stuff and we keeping the commandments, what's our brothers and sisters who's not keeping the law and all the heathen going to be going through? You got to understand, the Most High said in the book of Proverbs, I believe, he said he's angry with the wicked every day. The Most High been here a lot longer than me and you, and I hate white people. I hate them more because I see them more. I'm pretty sure if I lived in Saudi Arabia and was getting called a sand nigga, because that's what they call our brothers over, they call them sand niggas. I'm pretty sure I'd hate them more because that's who I'm around. But right now I see Esau. That's who I hate the most.
With a perfect hatred.
David said he hated them with a perfect hatred. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I'm going to play my role. I'm going to fish till the Most High said I can hunt. Go to Zechariah. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Oh, yeah, you can. I thought you said you wanted a script. Let's go to the book of Zechariah. Chapter 12 and verse 8.
Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 8. In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them.
So check this out. It says the feeble man. You might have a scrawny brother, someone who's not the biggest and baddest. Let's take someone like Ratazan. That's my boy. He got a heart of a lion. Small Jake, though. He's not 6'8", 250. He's like 5'4", 130, 120. It said the feeble of us, right? It's going to be like what?
As David.
The feeble is going to be as David. I don't know if y'all know what David was doing, but let's go check it out in 1 Samuel real quick. We're going to see what David was doing. That's what I'm saying. That clip I showed you, I can't even say that's exaggerated because the scriptures talk about it. Esau just wants to give us the motion picture of it. That's all. 1 Samuel 18. Watch this.
Verse 6.
Yep.
The book of 1 Samuel chapter 18 and verse 6. And it came to pass as they came when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistines.
You got to understand, he didn't say war, fight, battle. He said slaughter. They had no chance. And you're going to see why there was a slaughter. Go ahead.
That the women came out of all the cities of Israel, singing and dancing.
What was they singing?
To meet the king, to meet King Saul with tabrets.
Tabrets, yep.
With joy and with instruments of music.
Because remember, Saul was king, and Saul was putting in work out there. Saul was putting in work for the nation. But look what they said about David, though. Go ahead.
And the women answered one another as they played and said, Saul hath slain his 1,000.
I tip my hat to any Jake that's knocking out more than just one person in a rumble. Like, hey, you did your thing out there. Saul was putting thousands to death. But what was David doing?
And David his 10,000.
David his 10,000s. Come on, y'all. We dealing with the spirit of the Most High. Let's go back to that PowerPoint. Watch this. Let's deal with a more warlike scenario. And of course, they'd have an Edomite doing our job, but it's all good. Like he in the spirit for real. Shape-shifting to get to different positions on the battlefield? Come on now. How about it? The slaughter of the Philistines. You can turn on my. What do you say? Huh? No, I actually spelled judgment wrong too. Excuse me, but that's from the movie Dracula, and that's a good little clip. There's another scripture too that talks about our people, how when the Most High is visiting us, how we gonna be like sparks bouncing to and fro, and the fact that you got the man, you can put it back on me now. The fact that you got this man shape shifting, getting from one place to another real quick. I'm telling you, man, Esau really reads our scripts. It said we're gonna be like sparks amongst the stubble, just burning everything up. And the scriptures talk about too how you got certain brothers that was good with the sword play, certain brothers that was better with the bow and arrow. Like, man, all it takes for the Most High is just to give us it back. But you can see why they don't want us having this Bible. All that's because of the Bible. King David saw all of our people were great when they were keeping the commandments of the Most High. That's why he said this book is a weapon. The other nations fiend for it. And it's so sad because it wasn't even given to them. It was given to us, and our people don't even want it. I had another clip, but y'all pretty much get it. It was a scene from a Suicide Squad with Deadshot. We'll play it real quick. It won't hurt. Because they was using swords and all that in the other scene. But nowadays, we're using them pistols, them ARs. Shout out to my boy in the quad. That's gonna be you, what?
That's how I cut and rock.
Still going. Man. But just like that, though. Just like that. It's nothing for the Most High to wake our people up. But, just to wrap things up, we got to keep in mind, Israel, we must repent. Read that psalm for me real quick. We must repent.
Psalms chapter 34, verse 22. The Lord redeemeth the soul of his servants. And none of them that trust in him shall be desolate.
And that's the key thing right there. Because you're going to have people that's going to end up desolate because they don't trust in the Most High. You got to have your trust in the Most High. So that's all I have for y'all tonight, Israel. Do apologize about the technical difficulties we had earlier. I believe you can still watch the whole thing on YouTube in 2 parts. I think Facebook cut out. Satan didn't want our people getting his word. That's the last thing he want our people doing is dropping people by the tens of thousands. But, with all that, I want to say shalom and thank y'all for tuning in. Shalom.